party. So yeah, I did promise like Jiu-Jitsu tea party. Not going to be a tea party because, to be honest, I don't have tea and I forgot the cake. But that's fine because we have a bouncy castle, so we're just going to have a party. But we're throwing people around because who doesn't want a party where you get to throw people around?
Are there other kinds of parties?
Apparently so, but I don't know. They're all boring. So, little bit of context for what I'm doing. So, back at it actually started a couple of 100 years ago. Was the first time people were like, do you know what, women, we want to vote too. And then everyone's like, yeah, right, forget it, no. Then, sort of, from about 1850 onwards in Britain, women really started to want to get the vote, and they were doing polite things. They were writing to Parliament, and they were like being lovely and passive, and like, look, we're lovely, well-behaved women. If we carry on being polite and like well-behaved, will you let us have the vote? And they're like, yes, of course we'll at some point, but not just yet, darlings. And it got to around about 1906, and there was this one woman in particular, Emmeline Pankhurst, and she was like, do you know what? They've been ignoring us all this time. They're not going to do anything. If we carry on behaving like they tell us to, they're never going to reward us with the vote. So, do you know what? We may as well start doing our own thing. So, she sort of forms the WSPU, Women's Social and Political Union, which was separate from a lot of the other suffrage parties at the time. And after a few years of them doing that and being like, do you know what? This doesn't work and being peaceful. We're going to start causing mayhem. So they started breaking windows, they started destroying, putting rocks through politician windows, they poured acid into post boxes, even some bombs on railways. Their aim was to never ever injure anybody. They didn't plan on hurting anybody in the process of doing this. But occasionally some accidents happened. There's stories of postmen who ended up with horrific burns and off work for weeks at a time and in hospital because of some of the damage they got from what had happened to post boxes. But yeah, so they were going that way, and it was definitely working. It was getting them attention in the press, but it was also giving them a bit of a bad reputation. But they were like, you know what? Bad reputation is better than no reputation. So they carried on doing it. And then there was one particular incident where it went horribly, horribly wrong for them. There were 300 suffragettes, and they went on a march to Parliament because Parliament had been like, this was in February, and Parliament had been like, look, if you stop doing all of this disastrous stuff and stop breaking windows for the next 9 months, we promise we will get your bill through Parliament, so then it's one step closer to actually giving you the vote. And then, 9 months later, after they'd been lovely, peaceful, well-behaved ladies again, Parliament didn't do anything. They ignored them completely. So these 300 suffragettes were like, right, we're not standing for this, we're marching on Parliament. So, 300 suffragettes marched on Parliament to meet with over 4,000 police officers. Not just the regular ones, they'd shipped in ones from elsewhere in London, the really horrible sections, which were used to dealing with rioters and stuff, and it got violent and messy. And suffragettes were arrested, suffragettes ended up in hospital. There are even 2 possible suffragette deaths associated with this. There's a bit of conjecture about that, but yeah, basically it was not good. And after this, the suffragettes were like, right, we are having no more. We need to carry on this fight. It's gonna be violent. We need to learn how to defend ourselves. So they started learning Jiu-Jitsu. At the same time, because Jiu-Jitsu was huge, anybody who's heard of Bartitsu and all of that stuff, that started sort of very late 19th century. And it just it brought Jiu-Jitsu to the forefront of everybody. And they're like, this is an amazing thing. We all need to start learning it. And so you had the suffragettes being like, we definitely need to learn this to protect ourselves from the police. And the way they were learning it was almost like a military campaign. So Emmeline Pankhurst, the lady who ran the entirety of the suffragettes, she kept on getting arrested, put into prison, going on hunger strike, being released. And then as soon as she was fit and well again, she was supposed to be re-arrested and sent back to prison. Obviously, she didn't want to do that, so the suffragettes created what was called a bodyguard. in order to keep her out of prison. And the bodyguard trained with an awesome lady called Edith Garrud, who basically taught them all the jiu-jitsu and made them a fearsome fighting force to protect any of the suffragettes from being arrested and sent back to prison. So now the way they trained was really hardcore. It's like there was no fun, there was no smiling. It was like they had their dojo, they had to work hard. It was like proper military operation. On the other side of things, you had the lovely little London ladies who like their tea parties, but also believe all the stories in the press about how it's getting so violent and horrible out there on the streets, it's just not safe for anybody. So you should also learn jiu-jitsu. But we can do it by coming around to your house and having a lovely tea party in the process. So one thing everybody had in common, no matter how they taught it, was they all started with break falling. Because without break falling, you can't do anything. You can't train the throws because it means your partner won't be able to throw you, but also it means if you're being thrown to the ground by the police or by an angry mob, you need to know how to safely land. So, break falling. Who's done break falling before? Hands up. Okay, no? Okay, well, 50-50. So we'll do some more warming up. Alrighty, so, first things first, start with the sideways break fall. So this one is nice and easy. What we're gonna do, find yourself a nice bit of ground. Sorry, you are gonna get so dirty. Find yourself a nice little bit of ground, and all we're gonna do, hope you've all got good thighs, because it's essentially a one-legged squat that we're doing. So imagine there's a football just down there, and you want to kick it. Hands up, kind of as you're forming a ring around you. Hands up as you kick the ball, and as you kick the ball, one-legged squat down, so you're landing on the squishy bit of your other thigh. Boom. Like so. Make it easy, don't I? So, keep your chin tucked to your chest. That will stop your head from whacking off the ground. And then all we're going to do, kick that imaginary football and down. Try not to put your elbows down. Try not to get underneath first. Give it a go. What we're going to do for this one is sit on our own ankles. So from here, because I know from here down to the ground, that's scary. That's a long way to go, and I'm going to hit my head. So this one, tuck your chin down to your chest, and then all we're going to do is sit on our own ankles and gently roll backwards. Like so. Just going to go down to the ground. And you can spot the wrestlers in the room. No, don't worry. You don't have to do that. So, if you're not up for doing that, main principle to remember is do not land flat on your hands. So everybody, drop down to your knees. This is a great one to do if you've got a partner because it's a really good workout for like the quads and the core. But keeping your core as tight as possible, try not to bend at the waist. What we're going to do is fall forward, bring your hands up so we're landing as evenly as possible, like so. Turning your head to a side, just in case, keep your core nice and tight as you land. And you want to be out with your elbows just slightly out so you form this bit of a triangle kind of position. Yeah, it's ever so slightly that bit first and then it rolls like with yours with like the toe rolling to the heel, that kind of thing, but it's very, very minimal difference between when that lands and when that lands. Okay. Just make sure you're not landing elbows first, or like that. That's a broken wrist. That's just painful. Again. No, that's totally fair enough. To be honest, we don't really need this one today. It's just a good one to do, and especially because you don't know when you're doing throws with other people. If something goes wrong with their technique when they're throwing, you don't necessarily. I just basically teach it just for safety's sake. Don't worry too much if you don't quite have it. It's definitely one of the more advanced break balls. But how are we all feeling about sideways ones, backwards ones? Right, with this forwards one, a nice way of doing it, basically to get yourself down to the ground lower, is if you know you're going down, like if somebody's throwing you forward and they're kicking a leg out, that's fine, just widen the other leg as well. Look, suddenly I'm so much closer to the floor, so that is so much easier to do. So at any point with any of these break falls, if you need to get closer to the floor, just get closer to the floor. Widen your legs out, bend your legs, sit on your own ankles if you're going backwards or sideways. It's all good. So, are we all feeling happy with the break balls? Round and it looks like scary places. It's not that bad, so we know how to safely land on it. So, first thing I'm going to show you is a couple of base throws from Jiu-Jitsu. Now, I'm going to teach them how a magnificent lady called Emily Diana Watts teaches them. So she wrote a book in 1906, and it's basically the first female martial artist to do so. One of the first people ever to use like so many photographs in her book to show every step of the technique. Absolutely amazing. I love her book so much. Unfortunately, I do not have an original copy, and most of the PDFs you find out there are missing a lot of the pictures, which is really annoying. But if you come and talk to me afterwards, I do have some spare pictures from one of my friends who has a copy of the original, so I can show you all the missing elements. But first things first, how we actually do said throw, and how we prepare for said throw. So, Emily Diana Watts, she was predominantly a dancer, and she was all obsessed with like the Greek ideal and how bodies should move. That was all flowing and elegant. And because she was a dancer, you can tell she was a dancer the way she teaches everything. So, no spoilers. But if I can borrow you, thank you. So, first things first.
Throw him hard.
To be honest, my timing is that dodgy. I'm probably not going to get this thrown, but we get to work on that. Sorry, it's all part of the plan. So, the way we can take a grip, sort of one on the sleeve and one on the collar. The way Emily Diana Watts recommends it is you grab both at once, so then I've got full control of the entirety of the person. Rather than just that there, if I'm in the middle with my grip, it just gives it that little bit of extra control. Obviously, if you're against a partner wearing just a t-shirt, you can just grab sort of like on the shoulder and on the arm. You don't have to be gripping people's clothes off in the process. But as I've got a nice handhold, I'm going to take it. Now, for this, like how I said the dancing, it's all about the dance moves and the timings. So, I'm going to take a step back, drag my partner with me. I'm going to take some other step back, drag my partner with me, and another one. And then, boop, before that foot lands, down it goes. This is what I mean about the timing. I am taking 3 steps, making him think I'm about to take 4. So as he's putting his foot down, right before it touches the ground, I'm kicking it out from under him with the ankle as well. So, 1, 2, boom.
You said 4.
I know I said 4, but your foot was there, so I was taking advantage of where the foot was. So, this is your timing. To be honest, we already do this way around. So, it's supposed to be 3 steps and do it on the 4th, but I would do it if you want to be kicking with your left leg, just wait until the right foot is about to hit the ground and then do it. But I want you practicing it sort of to this timing. So, 1, 2, 3, boom. You all okay with that? So just a quick point on the arms, nice and loose. So I'm not tight gripping, I don't have a straight arm. If I'm like this, it's not going to work. I'm slightly loose and gentle in my arms, and then when I do the tug over, that's when I'm pulling my arms down into myself. So I'm starting here, and I'm ending there. And foot-wise, all I'm doing is, with my sole, right on the edge of the ankle. Ideally one forward motion. So long as you're catching that foot before it hits the ground, and you're giving that quick sharp tug, they should go down. Give it a go. Grab a partner, give me a shout if you need me. And hopefully before that foot lands, I'm going to be, so my 3rd step is out to the side. Before that foot lands, I'm going to be kicking this with my heel up and throwing it down. So it's, if I start right leg forward, 1, 2, 3, left leg forwards. 1, 2, 3, all about that timing. And that's the thing, it's moving on those sort of half beats, which gives you that opportunity to get back to work. Cheats version for this one is a hell of a lot nicer, and I usually manage to get the cheats one to work, even on people like 3 times. So have a go at this one with that timing though, and then we'll teach you the cheats version. So 1, 2, 3 out the side. See, you were trying to be nice, but I'm balancing. So 1, 2, 3 out to the side. That tug. I should kick the leg out. So it's a boom. You just leg as straight as you can. Back your heel to theirs. Bam. All the way up. Again, if you try and do this when their foot is planted on the ground, especially if you're a smaller person, it just kind of hurts. Their leg, if they've got all their weight on it and you just smash your Achilles into their Achilles, it's going to be painful. But yeah, try it with that nice slow timing. Try them picking up the pace, seeing if you can get the timing to work. And then I will call you all in to give you a cheats version that does actually work. This one, you've got a really nice training partner. It works beautifully, like a dance. If you've not got the timing quite right, or you've got a training partner who just like steps when you're not expecting them to step, it's just horrible. So, the cheats version, which I really, really like. I can borrow you again. So, you've got your grip. First of all, if you want to do it right-handed, which I'll demonstrate everything right-handed today, just because you're on that side, just give them a little tug, just to bring that leg forward. Step out to the side. Now, if you notice where my feet are, I'm in this nice triangle stance. Basically, I want to come back into this triangle stance again. Keep yourself nice and upright. Do not twist and contort around your opponent. I'm here. I'm going to imagine my partner isn't here. Boom. If you notice at the moment, my toe is on the ground. It's pretty much back to its start position, but my toe is up. As soon as I whack my toe down and I give a shove of this, now this one I really, really like because it doesn't rely on that perfect timing. It doesn't rely on the previous one we were trying to do where like everyone struggles turning side on and balancing yourself. This one, you are stable and balanced the entire time. I'm here and I'm back to here. The only thing that's essentially my finished position is from here to here. My leg is exactly where it started, as though there was nobody there in the first place. So once more, again, if you want to be nice to your training partner for this one, toe first, make sure they're ready to go, and then as you put the toe down, give that yank of the jacket. But if I can have your right leg forward. So again, if you need to, give them a tug to make them put their right leg down. Doesn't matter if they've got all their weight over that front foot, because this should work anyway. But you want to be stepping as far out to the side as possible. Nice wide triangle stance. Coming around, see how already that started to break its structure, and I'm nice and stable. As soon as I put my heel down and I do this tug, boom, there we go. Yeah? Give that one a go. So, all we're going to do for this one, please no horrible timings, we're just going to do that as standard. So, all I'm going to do for this one is turn around, foot behind as far through as possible. If you don't like your, so if you're a suffragette, if you can reach, your elbow is going into their throat. If you are a nice Edwardian lady and you're classy and polite and having a cup of tea, you're just going across the chest instead. You don't want to hurt people. Oh, so leg comes in behind, stepping as far forward as you can. Keep yourself nice and stable. Arm comes across the body, and all I'm doing, thrusting my hips forward, bending that leg as I push that arm backwards. Boom! Down it goes. If you were short enough and you find yourself in a position where you're sort of in here and you're underneath that arm, which to be honest, if you're the shorter person, you usually do. All I want you doing from here is going, ta-da! Literally saying ta-da and being like, yeah! That's where they end up. This is what we like. So, I will take you through it one more time just so you've got which point and connects where. So, the position. Come around the side. So you want your standing leg, at least level with theirs, facing the same direction as them. So if they're facing towards the campfire, you're facing towards the campfire. Your other leg comes through as far forward as you can. Get it triangle step. That is awesome, but it needs to be at level. Back here, it's not going to work. You need to be in contact as far through as possible. It's already started to break the structure. If I'm tall and I've got my hand behind, I can grab the jacket and yank. If I'm in front, get elbow to the throat or the chest. Or if it's small, but basically my side, then it's back to his side, pushing that forward to break the structure, and then this is just assisting with that direction. Yeah? So the fall for this one, as you feel yourself going, I recommend turning it into a sideways break fall on the side. So if they're kicking that leg out, try not to leave it there. It scoops down like this. It's a horrible, horrible thing for the knee. So if you feel that leg going, kick it up and out, and then just sit down on your other hip. So it's like the sideways break fall we were doing at the start. Okay? Are we all happy to try that? So, what positions are we likely to find ourselves in? There are quite a few. So, obviously, if I'm a suffragette and a police officer is trying to arrest me, there are many, many ways I might get. So, start with something nice and easy. Get off my wrist.
You're going to be late.
Am I though?
I think.
Am I really?
Oh,
Yeah. So, all I'm doing here is just nice and simple. Imagine you're holding a pint and you're just lifting your pint up and over his wrist. Put it down on the other side. Simple as that. There. Boop. Freedom! Other than the fact that, well, I'm standing. So, yeah, just be prepared. So, if that happens and you're like, haha, I'm free, turn and run away. Preferably towards the House of Parliament because you're a suffragette. That is your aim, to get to Parliament and handcuff yourself to it. Or just away from your time. I know. So there, holding your pint, up and over. Yeah? Give that a quick go. Now, 2 hands. Okay, so I can just do what I've already done. 2 pints, freedom. But again, that's not necessarily always going to work. It's amazing how often it does work. But if they're really, really determined, and I'm trying to do both, especially if I can't quite twist my hips into it, it's not necessarily going to be the thing. But that's fine, because when they've got my hands, all I need to do is grab one of his. Look at me, I've now, yeah, who's got who now, huh? And I know from here, it's like, I still, if he's gripping on, I can't pull that away, it's not going to happen. But that's fine, I don't need to pull it away. I'm immobilizing his wrist. All I'm doing with mine, see how it meant my thumbs up? Twisting it so my thumb's down, drop my body weight. Ta-da! My hand is suddenly free. Which means, yes, I can just hit him around the head, knock his police officer's hat off. Big suffragette thing, they like knocking hats off because police, they had to pay for their own hats, so if they lost their hat, quite often they would abandon their criminal so they could go and grab their hat instead. Nice way to get freedom! But, just in case that's not working, or they're too tall you can't reach. So, from that, I've got my hand free. I will now bring my hand in, palm first, and smack it into the joint right where his thumb meets the wrist. Smack it into there, grab that wrist, ta-da! Now I've definitely got him. And from here, I'm going to do this, armbar him over himself, and throw him to the ground.
That's cool.
I love this one. It's very dramatic. Basically, if you've got somebody who's trained like Aikido or any of the big throwy ones, they will go flying through the air with this one. Most of the time, you get like an ow, 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 my arm, or they will kind of half drop to one knee and then slowly roll onto their side like a dog. But either way, they're not chasing you and they don't have a grip on you. So, they've got both your hands. If you can, bring both your hands together. If you can't bring both your hands together, pretend you're pushing your hands apart. They're going to be like, hang on, what are you playing at? They will then push your hands together for you.
Staying here. Oh, down.
And then you get your grip. All I do is I turn my wrist over, drop my body weight down, then I've got a free hand, which comes up, palm first, into there, push and pull. When they're being like, hang on, I've been pushed offline, that's fine, because you pull them back. You want inside of the elbow upwards. So if their palm is up, their elbow is up, and you're basically arm barring it with their own arm. So if I did nothing twisty wise, see how I'm getting that arm bar on? But if I'm here with my hips and everything, and I twist, so I'm lifting up on this, pulling down on this, as I twist my hips into it, there we go. Meaning I am now free to run away. And hopefully, he haven't fell off in the process, so he's going to scrabble about to find that as well. Do you need to see that one more time? Yes. Right, from the other side. So, they've got both your hands. They're pulling, you're like, not today. Bam. Twist and pull. Well, twist and drop. Boom. Slam that into there. So if you notice my hips, as I'm doing so, I'm twisting my hips for extra momentum in there. Which means then, when I'm doing this, I can twist my hips back into position. And then carry on the back motion. goes. Yeah? Go play. Find a new partner. It's a party. Go mingle. So you're all getting that break initially, which is really nice. If they are really, really stubborn with that, you're gonna have to make sure you are punching in. See that point there? You can try it on yourself. Push into that point and it naturally loosens that thumb right there. So that's what we're using this for, to just punch into that and see how that's sort of breaking that grip away anyway, which then makes it easier. And it means I'm already then here to just grab that and do that. So once I've so boom, boom, boom. Now, as I push that way, he's going to be like, what, hang on, what's going on? Because I'm pulling this and I'm pushing this. He's not going to like that. He's going to instantly try and like resist or come back to neutral. As he's doing so, that's awesome, because that's when I then get to do this. He's giving me the momentum to let this happen. And see how here it's nice and high. Because this is nice and high, I'm pushing up with that as I'm pulling down with that. Because it's nice and high, it means as I'm pulling down, I can then drop my body weight to get it down even lower. So it's push, pull, but it's just swapping of the hands as you do that final twist as you get them down. Does that all make sense? Yes. Yeah?
I think so.
Carry on! But yeah, there's 4,000 police against 300 suffragettes. Possibly more, but there was also an angry mob there. And there are other instances where there was a case in Wales where the Chancellor was speaking at a big open thing. And a lady in the crowd just starts calling out, "When are we going to get votes for women?" Before she could even finish speaking, members of the crowd around her piled in and literally started trying to kill her. As she was being beaten and abused, another woman further around in the crowd also started shouting out, "Vote for women." Same thing happened to her. So at that point, the police were trying their hardest to actually save the suffragettes. They weren't actually fighting against them, they were trying to save them. But the accounts from there, and even the accounts from Black Friday where there were all of the police and an angry mob also watching, there's accounts that like some of the police officers were throwing some of the suffragettes to the angry mob and everything. There's accounts of the suffragettes, like their tops being ripped off, their hair being pulled out. This case in Wales, somebody in the crowd is literally waving the suffragette's hair around as a trophy. So, that, just to give you an idea of what exactly they were up against, but leads us nicely into the next defense we're going to learn. So, if you want to be either evil police officer or angry mob, and grab me by the hair. So, I'll turn around so everybody can see. Move around so you can see, please. I recommend probably that side-ish. So, he has my hair. If I try just pulling weight, if I try lifting his hand up, keep a hold. I'm gonna hate this. If I try pulling it off, that just hurts. He's gonna rip my scalp off. So, I don't pull. I put both hands on, and I squeeze down as tightly as I can. At the moment, this not really hurting me. It's certainly not pulling my hair out anymore. Depending on how he's gripped, this is hopefully hurting his hands ever so slightly. But what will really do the trick to get him off is if I bend my knees, I turn on the spot, keep a hole, and I stand up free. Ta-da! I'm free! And then from here, there's a load of fun stuff I can do. Like I can literally come in and armbar him, throw him to the ground. If his arm's all the way up there, I can even come in and do one of the throws we were doing earlier. So many options to play with from there, but all of it is about getting that grip off my hair in the first place. So, we go again. So, he's grabbed my hair. I tend to work on the assumption that they will have grabbed your hair from the right hand side, but to be honest, even if you do turn the wrong way, you will still be able to get something to work on them. So, clamp it down, stop them from being able to pull, bend and turn on the spot. And stand up straight. Standing up straight is what concentrate. And now I've got an arm. And a beautiful swim rock and arm hold. Now from here, like I said, you can go in, you can do a hip throw, or what I like, especially if you've got it all nicely bent like this, keep a hold with one hand, that elbow's already up, step in front, and I'm here. And from here, sorry, I'll save that for another day, or later. Sorry, there's more fun things in this place to run up through. From here, I am just going to put my leg in front and then keep on pushing down on the elbow, and he is going to face plant. I will stop so I don't accidentally break his elbow.
Thank you.
It's alright, I'll be nice. Sometimes they can forward roll out of it, it looks spectacular, but see if they're not very good forward rolling or you've done it too quickly, they would as face plant and their shoulder and elbow will go pop. So just be careful of that if you're going to be training it. Yeah? So, do you need to see it again? Yes. Whole thing. So, they grab your hair. Clamp your hands on, squeeze it down as much as possible. Turn in. Stand all the way up straight. When you've got them in this position here, glorious. Keep this wrist as bent as possible. Come in behind the elbow and you're pushing up and over as you're stuffing it to the front of their leg. From here, if you just keep on twisting around that way, they're going to go down or their elbow is going to go up. Especially if you push down on that and lift up on that. Does that make sense? Find a new partner. Have fun. They're trying really hard to stroke me. I'm not going to be able to do it out or anything. But there is a really, really nice thing you can do. And it looks really, really fancy as well, which is awesome, but it's actually really fast and efficient. And I bring his hand up and I feed it through under there. Now already I'm putting pressure on this arm.
Already I'm...
It's starting to like bend his elbow slightly, which is starting to release a bit of pressure there. But that's fine, because that's not where we're finishing. So from here, I bring my other hand together. And I go and turn. And if I've done that appropriately, I end up with this arm in front of me. And I hope you'll remember what we did earlier. We had that arm in front of us, which is boom. Look, there was a reason I was showing you throws earlier. Because you never know when they're gonna come in useful. So if we do that from the other side. So they're in both hands on the throat. Up and over, you're feeding it through like a big snake. Palms flat against each other. You're just twisting it up and out. Grab a hold of that wrist, because you may as well, you're already there. Step behind, arm across, or elbow in throat if you don't like them. And boom! Then you can run and train yourself to Parliament. And see them deal with you then. Does that make sense? Brilliant. Go have a play. Solo dance party. Because solo dance parties, how else do you get to practice for like when you've got to have like a dance off? So, solo dance party it is. Sadly not the Macarena. Don't worry, we've got some good moves. You should enjoy this. Might look a bit odd. Take my word for it. Golden. So, I'm going to start here. Nice and prim and proper. Then, boom. Oh yeah, we want to be here. Then, turn all the way around. Bringing the hands into the chest. Then, bend the knees and twerk. There we go.
Weaponized twerking.
Yep, weaponized twerking. What more do you need? So, prim and proper to start. Down to the crab. Turn it around as you pull the hands in. Keep it nice and low and twerk. Nice. Right. In your own time. Let's see it. There are stickers for the best one. So, if they're choking me, boom! Oh yeah. I'm free, I'm no longer being choked. This is a good thing. Keep a hold of both the hands. Turn it, step it around. And now from here, work it. Bam! Ta-da! Does that make sense?
Can we see it again?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry.
So, they're in. Hands up. So you want to be pushing the wrist up and away from you. Just drop your body weight now. Keep the hands up here as you turn around and in. So you bring it over the shoulder. Now, as you bring it over the shoulder, see how I've turned more than 180 degrees, but now kind of facing back. Bring it down as far as I can, so they're essentially leaning all the way over your back. Now from here, all I do is straighten my legs as I carry on pulling these arms down. Boom! And that's where that twerk comes in. Yeah? Give it a go.
Or do you want to see it again?
It's alright, there's more stuff we can show them later. It's all good. So, if, to be honest, if they're down here like this, feel free to just whack your head back, elbow them, butt them in the face, because that's awesome. Also, I don't know if you've seen Edwardian shoes, they've got quite nice heels on them. Scraping them down the shins, totally legit move. But if they have you with your arms out, that's nice and easy. So all we do, similar to what we were doing earlier, so palm of the hand into that wrist joint again. Even if they keep slightly more of a grip because it doesn't break it instantly, you're there. Grab a hold, reach round, lock that elbow upwards, twist into it. Now,
And I lost my hat.
And he lost his hat. Win! See, I can do horrible things like submissions and stuff, but to be honest, from here, I don't want to because he's a copper. He's got like 4,000 friends with him. So at this point, I'm just gonna either keep on twisting, throw him face first into the ground, or shove him and leg it. But I'll show you that once more. So if they grab you, and your hands are free. To be honest, even if they do lift you off the ground, just again, like I said, headbutt them, straight down, boom. You do enough stuff, they're gonna put you down at some point, and as soon as they do, slam that into there, break the grip as much as possible, plop upwards on that elbow, so you're getting this similar to the throw we were doing earlier, or the lock, and then just turn around into it. Grab your own wrist as well as theirs. This is a really nice secure position, which we don't need because I'm not standing still. He's got friends, I have friends, I'm gonna leg it. Does that make sense?
We do it again from the other.
Yeah.
This way, because I think
This way as well. Okay, so here, bam, smack down into it so you can get a grip on. From there, pull up and push. So you're pulling that elbow towards you as you're pushing that wrist away. As it comes around, you're then just sliding your hand into that wrist. This final lock position, not that important, but for any wrestlers in the crowd, it's a nice one. Alrighty? Go play. Give me a shout if you need me. Time for some more dancing. Now, I don't know if it made it all the way to Germany, but this was definitely a big thing in the 90s in the UK. The birdie dance. So, yeah, I apologise. It's birdie dance time.
PTSD.
Yeah. So, I'm here. I can't do a lot. I'm not going to be able to get out of that. So, what do? I bring the back of my hands together. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but as I bring my hands together, that naturally releases a bit of space anyway. Because I'm using my back muscles to essentially create space in my front, which is lovely. Now from there, I'm going to do the birdie dance. Drop myself down. Oh yeah. Now from here, we have a few options. I'm going to show you one of my favourites that Emily Diana Watts does, which is from here. Don't really need this hand anymore. This is the one I want to focus on. So I grab this hand. Careful with this one. You don't want to, like, if your foot gets stuck, if their foot gets stuck on the floor, it can be horrible for knees. So from here, I'm going to drop down to that knee. And we're going to keep this leg as straight as possible as I yank this down. Boom! Yeah, that. There are lots of variations we can do from the birdie dance, which we'll have a look at, but this is just my favourite. So, back of the hands together. Birdie dance with a step out to the side slightly. So there. Ignore this hand, grab this one there, and ideally all the way up here as well. Keep them in nice and close. Drop down to that knee, straighten that leg. There you go. Yeah? Do we need to see it once more? Come around if you need to. So, they grab. Boom. Grab as high as possible, drop down over to that side and that knee, straightening that one. And again, same motion we're doing at that, that's hug down. So loose, tight with the bend of those arms. Yeah? Brilliant, have a play. Yeah, happy with the arms too. Okay, so I do my birdie dance. I'm out to the side. Now from here, so many fun options. Quite like this one though. So I'm here, I'm vaguely out, I'm free enough. So all I'm going to do is reach down, again with the twerking, sticking the ball all the way back, grabbing the ankle, and then just standing up. From here, if you know any joint locks, you're welcome to go into some. But we're suffragettes and we're ladies. We will not be crawling around on the street and playing with people. That's the uncouth art. That is not the gentle art of Suffragitsu, of Jiu Jitsu rather. So, you see that? Or did you pretty much get what I did?
No, I need to see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew that. But now I also know why you would go see it.
Yeah. Okay, so back of the hands, stepping out. This time really important to step out because I need that between my legs. So then as I'm there, even if that's still vaguely on, doesn't matter because as I bend down, my foot pushes his thigh backwards, which takes a lot of the pressure off that foot. So I grab it, and then I stand up. And from here, so many fun things I can do. Carry on rolling it over.
Really looked different when you did it to her.
I know, right?
She did the exact
Lots of
same
punches.
thing. You just imagine.
It's just another perspective. It's weird.
So, go have fun, and then I'll show you one more from that, and then we're possibly on time, but fingers crossed I have to go to frame again.
This time I'll
from
get you.
the bear hug. I can't, to be honest, there's lots of other things you can do with bear. It's like choking you and stuff, you can reach up, grab your hat pin, stab them with it, but even as you're grabbing the hairpin, magically, look, as man comes up, that releases these grips, which means I can then go into these kind of things. But, back into our birdie dance, because birdie dance, why would we not? So, we're there, we're stepping out to the side. Now, this leg is coming behind, and oh, look where I am, for a ta-da! Oh yeah! You should all know this one, we did it earlier. I want the biggest ta-das possible. Final technique of the pass, make it count. Go play! Biscuits! Okay, there's no tea cake, but there are biscuits! You get an extra sticker. Oh yeah!
I'm going to risk